What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm just an American guy on a journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Today, we're going to be reacting to the top 10 things America stole from Britain. When they use the word stole here, I guess they're trying to describe something that's really popular in America, that your average American probably assumes was invented in America, but actually originated in Britain. You know, considering we were originally a British colony, it wouldn't surprise me if there are a lot of things that I know of in America to be from America that actually originated from Britain. So I thought this would be an interesting video to check out just to see if some of those things that I use on a regular basis or I see on a regular basis that I always assumed were invented here in America happen to be originally from the UK. So let's go ahead and check out what those top 10 things America stole from Britain are.
From pastries to patriotic sing-alongs. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 things America stole from Britain.
He likes American stuff.
Before we begin, if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're counting down famous facets of American culture which actually originated in Britain. While standout British inventions are subject for another list, today's countdown tackles typically American things, which the US has the UK to thank for.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily about, like, I don't know, the World Wide Web, for example. You know, I learned that was an invention created in Britain. This is more about, I'm guessing, kind of food and cultural things. So let's go ahead and continue.
Number 10, apple pie.
Apple pie.
As American as apple pie, right? Wrong. The sweet treat is a staple on US dining tables, but the British were the first to serve it way back in the 1300s. A popular dessert throughout European history, with Dutch and Swedish styles also inspiring menus worldwide, it was taken across the pond with the 17th century colonists. Since then, apple pie has become a standout symbol of US patriotism, as well as a central component to a teen comedy franchise.
It's not what it looks like.
Number 9.
That one's kind of shocking. But considering that, you know, people brought it over hundreds of years ago from Britain when they were, you know, settling here in America, you know, it kind of makes sense. But fun fact, I actually never had apple pie until maybe 2 years ago. First time I ever had it. You know, and it's such a, you know, quintessential American food staple for dessert, you know, and it's just something that I just never had the opportunity to try. And it was absolutely delicious. And I absolutely love apple pie. I've had it a few times since then, and definitely one of my favorite pies at this point.
9. YMCA.
YMCA.
Way before village people turned this institution into a cheesy disco anthem, and long before the YMCA swept across America, the Young Men's Christian Association was the brainchild of English philanthropist George Williams. Dismayed by working conditions in 18th century London, Williams conceived the now famous charity as a safe place for its patrons. While the movement's worldwide influence is something to be proud of, difficult to imagine Williams joining in with the dance move. Number 8.
YMCA. I haven't really. I know that it's like a charity, right? But from where I'm from, you don't really see. I've never seen it in like a YMCA, you know, sign on a building or anything like that. I've heard of it, but I didn't really know much about it. I think it must be in certain parts of the country and not in others.
8. Chocolate bars.
I think I knew that. Yeah, we
Candy
found
bars
that out.
are big business stateside. But before Mars, Hershey's, Milky Bar or Baby Ruth, there was one bloke in Bristol making confectionery history. Joseph Fry finalised the first mass-produced chocolate bar in the mid-1800s, around the time that the Dutch developed a chocolate press. Fry's chocolate cream hit shelves in 1866 with a famed fondant filling, and the bar can still be bought today. John Cadbury quickly followed suit, while the likes of Hershey's didn't arrive until the late 1890s.
That was, oh man, Cadbury's so good, man. Really is. I don't really feel like this is one that, I don't know, this was not one that's like, I don't look at America as the place where chocolate is so much more popular or something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really feel like it stealing it or America stole this from Britain. It's like I feel like chocolate is probably just as popular in Britain as it is America. At least that's what I assume. But I did learn not too long ago that chocolate was invented. A chocolate bar, at least, was invented in the UK.
Number 7, sandwiches.
Can I have a glass
Sandwiches.
of wine?
Okay.
And a ham sandwich?
Okay. Again, I don't really think this is one you could have on the list of things America stole from Britain, because I feel like if I went to a lot of countries, if I went to Canada, or if I went to, Italy, or I feel like I'd find sandwiches would probably be just as popular, I would assume. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe are sandwiches that much more popular in America than a lot of other countries?
If you like.
With a pickle?
All right.
Thanks to world-conquering fast food outlets Homer Simpson and Joey Tribbiani, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this foodstuff was a US creation. However, the history of the
I never
sandwich
thought
is
that.
long and complicated, and very little of it happened in America. While early versions
Wasn't it the Earl of Sandwich? Wasn't that the name of the guy who invented a sandwich or something?
are recorded across Europe, it's named after the 4th Earl of Sandwich in Kent. The
Right.
story goes that he
Heard
was an
about that.
ardent gambler, and meat between bread was the simplest way of eating without disrupting a game of cards.
Sandwich for display purposes only and should not be eaten.
Number 6, The Office.
That's what she said.
I knew that too.
And yes, we mean the TV show and not the actual open plan workplace, which is largely a German invention. Anyway, unlike a lot of American remakes of British TV, The Office US did manage to tap into most of what made its predecessor pair. But after 9 series and a shed load of awards, let's just remember where it all started. Steve Carell's Michael Scott is hilarious in his own right, but for fans of the British original, he'll always be David Brent in disguise.
Isn't that guy's name Ricky Gervais? Is that his name? I watched something that he hosted or something. What was that show? It's like he was, if this is the guy I'm thinking of, it's I think he's a comedian, right? Well, obviously he is, because he's on The Office, right? But he traveled around to different countries or something, and like I can't remember exactly what that was, but I remember seeing that like a long time ago. It was a really interesting show. I wish I remember the name of it. But I've never actually seen either of The Offices. My wife loved The Office. I don't think she's seen the British version. But yeah, I'm just one of those weird people that have never seen either version of The Office. I know most people probably have.
Number 5, plastic surgery.
Okay, that one's surprising.
That came out of me.
From Botox to boob jobs, America is the world's leading market for cosmetic surgery,
Yeah.
with millions going under the knife every year. But the industry was by no means born in the USA. Sir Harold Gillies is often credited as the father of plastic surgery, a New Zealand-born, London-based surgeon who gathered leading physicians to treat thousands of soldiers who had been injured or disfigured in World War I. Gillies' work became a blueprint for all sorts of reconstructive procedures,
Wow.
a starting point for today's aesthetic options. Number
Wow. So plastic surgery really started as something very, very admirable. I mean, not saying, there's nothing wrong with, if someone wants to go get plastic surgery, they can. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with it necessarily. I think there is something a little off with it if with people who have to go and like, they're constantly changing something on them. But I feel if someone like really has something, for example, someone has some kind of really, a woman has a really bad scar on her face and she wants to heal that, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it goes a little too far with a lot of people, especially in America, though. But considering it started to help people that were disfigured in war, that was a really admirable invention, creation, however you want to describe that. I always assumed that would be something that was created in California, honestly. Beverly Hills, Hollywood area. It's just so quintessential to that area that you would always assume that. But wow, that's an interesting one, actually.
Number 4, the light bulb.
The light bulb? Okay.
Supposedly serial stealer of other people's ideas, Thomas Edison's light bulb moment is considered one of the most significant steps in modern technology.
Hey, Edison! How about sharing some of those light bulbs, huh?
Hey, figure it out for yourself, man.
But experts are continually divided on just how much Edison did to develop the design. Before the Wizard of Menlo Park, there were countless other scientists creating electric light and light bulbs, not least British pioneers including Humphrey Davy and Joseph Swan. The anti-Edison camp claims that the inventor's only skill was knowing when to patent.
One thing Edison did invent, for 100% genuine Edison invention that we use every day, probably most of us.
Is it nasal hair clippers?
Number 3, donuts.
That one was pretty shocking. Donuts. That one. That would be one that I would assume was probably invented in America. Donuts, yeah. That one's interesting.
One little bite won't hurt you.
Now, the origins of the donut are a sticky affair, with claims and counterclaims sending historians round and round in circles. However, while a stronger suggestion remains that the Dutch took the treats to America in the mid-19th century, a 2013 discovery seemingly proves that the Brits were baking them at least 50 years before. Baroness Elizabeth Dimsdale's cookbook dates to 1800 and includes a strikingly similar recipe. A deep-fried concoction of sugar, eggs, butter and yeast, add some icing, and it's the real deal. Number 2.
That was surprising. Baseball.
A national sport and obsession in the US, baseball was born in the UK. There are countless records of bat and ball games being played in Blighty, starting with stool ball in the 1300s. Sure, the rules have changed and refined over the years, but the basic premise is usually the same. Someone pitches, someone swings, others try to catch. In fact, some researchers argue that baseball is an offshoot of cricket, an English obsession which didn't catch on across the Atlantic. At all.
All right, before he goes number 1, what do you think number 1 is? I'm trying to just think of anything that I would think that's really popular in America that originated in Britain. Man, what could it be? Oh man, I have one that's like, oh, are they going to literally? No, it can't be. All right. Oh man, I don't know. Anybody have any ideas? All right, let's just go with it. Let's just go see what it is.
Number 1, the Star Spangled Banner.
What? The Star Spangled Banner?
We finish with a final salute for great British influence on American culture, because the US national anthem is sung to the tune of an 18th century English drinking song. Baltimore wordsmith Francis Scott Key takes full credit for the lyrics, but the melody was written by John Stafford Smith, a Gloucester-born composer. The Anacreontic song, as it was originally known, was regularly belted around a prestigious London gentleman's club, where wealthy people met to wine and dine.
Do you agree with...
Man, that's crazy. Now that I heard him say that, I think I read a comment somewhere in one of the other like patriotic song videos or something. I can't remember where it was. This has been, I don't know, a month or two ago, I'm guessing. But I remember seeing someone say, your national anthem is a drinking song or something like that. And I just kind of, I didn't really think about it, but that comment's obviously stuck in my head from all the way back when I read it to now. And now I'm thinking that guy was literally telling me something that was a truth that I didn't understand at the time. That's crazy. Now that one's shocking. I would have never guessed in a million years that our national anthem tune was originally a British drinking song. That's crazy. That's insane. Wow. Now that one is shocking, to say the least. Some of the others were interesting, not quite as shocking as that, but you think of things like apple pie. It's such a quintessential dessert in America that you don't really think about it being created anywhere else. But I mean, I can see how it was just brought over a long time ago. I mean, we are a British colony, so it does kind of make sense that things that were originally from Britain, especially food items and things like that, or recipes, would make its way over here and we would just take them on. I think a lot of all countries, to be honest, they all take things from other areas. And, and over time, people just, they just assume that those items that they use or consume on a regular basis was invented in the country they're from, because it's just so quintessential to where they're from. And they can't really imagine it being from somewhere else, But, I think America, when I think of stuff coming from Britain, it makes a little more sense considering the history and the background, the connection America has to the UK originally. Apple pie, big YMCA, that one is, let's see, chocolate bar, knew that one. The sandwich, I didn't really look at the sandwich as something that was like a big thing in America. So I don't really understand that one technically, but maybe America's known for being more popular for sandwiches. I don't know. To me, I've never really been a big sandwich person personally. Basically because I grew up and I really didn't like bread. I was the type of person, I didn't eat, if it's pasta of any type, bread, just not my type of thing. Now I do enjoy a good homemade bread. But I'm not really the type, you'll never see me going to the grocery store and buying a loaf of bread or something. It's just not really something I enjoy. I enjoy other more pastry type things like, cookies and, I don't know, pies and stuff like that. But when it comes to just actual bread or pasta type stuff, I was never really a big fan of that stuff for some reason. It just, growing up, if I was fed bread or pasta, I would gag because I just could not stand the consistency of it. But now I enjoy a good roll every once in a while or something like that. But that's just, yeah. Plastic surgery. That one was shocking to me. That's one I assumed was created somewhere on the West Coast of America. The light bulb, I guess that one's kind of shocking to me, but I'd heard before that Edison was a thief. So that wouldn't really, it's kind of shocking, but at the same time, it's not really. What was that one? Can't tell. Oh, donuts. Yeah. I mean, donuts are one of those things that are pretty popular in America, so could be kind of shocking to some people. Baseball, I'd heard this in the comment section before that originally was rounders in the UK. So, I mean, that was not as crazy shocking either. But a few of these were pretty shocking. But otherwise, I thought, yeah, it was a good list. But that last one, that one takes the cake. Wow. Okay. Out of everything I saw on this list, the learning that the tune for our national anthem here in America was a British drinking song, that is just wild. That's so wild. But anyways, guys, thank you for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others that you think I might want to check out in the future. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.